One of my most requested videos is to review this washing machine that I have. I've had this washing machine for 7 years, close to 7 years, somewhere around there. The model number is here. And yeah, disregard this. Yes, we need to clean this, but that's the model number again. And people just wanted to know my experience with this. You know, I have used this in my portable washer for the bulk of my stain test, and I'll talk about the good first and then talk about, I guess, some things that I've noticed. Overall, this machine has not had any problems. It hasn't had we haven't had to call a maintenance mechanic to come and fix anything. It has basically ran seamlessly, except for one thing that happened, but we'll get to that at the end. I do really like that it has the option to pick your water level. I think that when it comes to a top load washer, that's one of the main reasons to get one. I would recommend is to be able to pick your water level. You know, that's not the greatest option of choice when it comes to a front load washer. I personally don't know which one I like better at this point, because our previous one was a front load washer, but I don't know which one I personally like better. Honestly, if I were I would like to get a Speed Queen, rather it be a front load or a top load. But until then, this will do. I do like, of course, you get to pick the water temperature, which most of you do. I do like that you have the option to add more water. If you press this button, it'll add 3 gallons of water. And then if you hold it, it'll make that sound, and it'll fill the drum all the way to the top. Now, I haven't noticed a difference between it filling it all the way to the top with this and you pressing it to just go to max. It's the same thing that I've seen. I haven't seen the water any higher. Of course, there are many different wash cycles. There is a big difference between the wash cycles, actually. I have a sleeping bag and some blankets that I use, and I have to wash them on delicate. I will say the only thing I guess I don't like about this is certain items, these wash cycles don't really matter. Like if I put the bulk item, but then I put my sleeping bag in here, the load will get off balance and you will hear this thing knocking. But I have to wash it on delicate. And if I wash it on delicate, then you won't hear it knocking. The casual, I don't ever really use that. I do use speed wash sometimes. I don't really use the drainage spin. I don't really use the active wear because I normally just use normal. I don't do jeans because I just don't wash jeans by themselves. I do use the towel and sheets setting. Oh, I should have brought it down here. There's the owner's manual has its recommended settings that you should put your water temperature for relative to the wash cycle type. And I have tried following it, and it does pretty fine. I normally wash most of my clothes in cold water anyway, but for certain things like towels and sheets, it recommends that you either use the warm or the hot set temperature. So it's a good guide that you can use this in the owner's manual. I really love that it does a second rinse cycle. I personally would not buy a washer that does not have the second rinse cycle. And I do like that it has a deep rinse cycle, that it fills the drum, not all the way, but it fills it basically halfway, and then rinses out your clothes that way. And then you have the option to do a second rinse of the deep rinse, so it can do that twice. Now, I know some people have fancy washing machines that they are able to do 4 or 5 rinse cycles, and that's nice. I think my favorite feature on here is the auto soap function. Just about all these detergents, I did a video in the past where I showed that, well, support the notion that pre-soaking is better than pre-treating, because pre-soaking was able to remove more stains than pre-treating is. But if you only have one small stain, it makes no sense to really pre-soak the whole thing. You could just pre-treat it. But if you have a bigger stained area, then it's better to pre-soak. So if you don't want to put your clothes in a bucket or in the tub or in the sink or something, you could just set this to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and 2 hours. And what I really like about this is every 15 minutes, regardless of which one you pick, well, I guess except for this one, because that's just the 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes, it goes. But when you put it on 30 minutes, after 15 minutes, it'll agitate it, and then it'll stop. If you do it for an hour, every 15 minutes, it'll agitate it, and then it'll stop. Same thing for the 2 hour mark. Well, actually, let me not say that, because I've used the 2 hours, but I haven't sat here and watched it for the 2 hours. So I don't know if it agitates every 15 minutes. I would assume it does, because it does it for the hour and the 30 minutes. But I really like that it has that as an option. I like that you could have the fabric softener dispenser here. This isn't really that hard to clean. You just lift this up, this part, and then you pull this part out as well. And then you could use fabric softener or fabric rinse and refresh products like Downy, or the less expensive version that you can get at the dollar store. This is the rinse and refresh that they have at the Dollar General. They both do the same thing. Of course, it has this bleach compartment right here. I will say when it comes to using bleach, I recommend less is more for a lot of people. A lot of times the instructions will say use half a cup or use a full cup. I use a fourth a cup on a large load, and it normally gets the job done. So when it comes to a lot of your products, you could use less is more when it comes to that. I think the downside to this is, and I've seen other reviews where basically this is just a top load washing machine thing, is it's better to wash larger loads of clothes and not less loads of clothes because you have more agitation from the drum and from the clothes washing, hitting and scrubbing up against each other than just if you just wash a small load. This is kind of like, this is really a small load, really kind of. But I like that when we got it, they put this guide on here that it shows like this is how high up, you know, your small, medium, and then large load is. And it shows where the water level will be when you select those cycles. So overall, the only thing that was an issue that we've had is sometimes if there's been a power outage and then the power comes back on, the machine will beep. It's almost beeps like, there's a setting that when people do, when your manufacturer technician or your appliance technician comes and maybe does some maintenance on it, there's a setting that you could put this in and like it'll make that beeping sound to let you know that you've gotten to that setting for maintenance or whatever. It kind of makes that similar sound where it just makes a beeping sound. I can't get it to do it now, but it'll do that. It's done that, I think I've counted like 5 times, but that's 5 times over the course of like 7 years. So it didn't do anything to like mess up the machine. It was just something that would happen and it would just keep beeping until I unplugged it, then waited like a couple minutes and then plugged it back in and then it went back to normal. But that's been the only thing. It does an adequate job cleaning clothes. Like I say, if your clothes really don't get that dirty, most washing machines will do a good job for you. And I think it does it okay when it comes to some of these stain tests that I've been doing. I don't think this is a bad washing machine whatsoever. And could I recommend this? Yeah, I think it does okay. Like, I think if you could find this for a good price, I would not recommend it. Like, it does a good job. It's not that hard to maintain. You don't really have to do much. I clean it every month with the washer packets, and it really don't matter which one you use. You can use the ones at the dollar store that come 3 in a pack. You can use Tide, you can use OxyClean, you can use the other ones they have on Amazon, the different brands, whichever one you choose to use to clean here. Also, and this is personal opinion, y'all do what you want or whatever, but sodium tripolyphosphate, you know, that's been removed out of a lot of detergents and just cleaning products in general because of its impact on the environment. And but I do have it, and I'm gonna do a full review of the product and just talk all about it. But I use it to clean this washer as well because it helps to do a lot of stuff. Just do a lot of stuff. I'll just do the whole video. A lot of y'all in the comments know about sodium tripolyphosphate and how it used to be in products. But I'll just use it in addition to whatever cleaning pack that I put in here, and it really helps remove a lot of just the gunk and the mess and the everything. And it is important because when you wash it, if you don't do it frequently every month, clean your drum, you can see a difference. But that just concludes my review of this washing machine. Once again, this is the model number, and overall I really don't have really too many complaints. Like, I just like the idea that I could just throw my clothes in here and going about my day. Once again, the major complaint was that beeping, and that some items, depending on how big they are, may not fit. Oh, another thing, I have a full-size bed, so my full-size comforter does fit in here. I have not tried washing one that's bigger than that. So if you have a queen size or large or a king size or California king size comforter, I don't know if it will fit in here because I haven't watched that and I haven't tested that, so I don't know. But for every other thing, this does an adequate job at cleaning. And once again, yeah, if you ask how much it costs, I don't remember. I don't remember. But y'all take care, and I will catch you on the next one.